Starting off this morning, already did our walk, and now editing the last video from yesterday, which is today's upload for the Witchy channel. So gonna get this rendering and then probably get started on some writing.
I just finished writing the first chapter of today. This takes so much longer than fiction. Oh my god. So it is like almost 9 o'clock. I have been writing since literally probably, I don't know, 6. Like, this took forever. It isn't even that many words. So this one was 2,114 words. It felt longer. It felt like it was another 5,000 words. It wasn't. But like the thing with this book is there is so much flippin' research you have to do as you go. Because like there's a lot. And again, I want this to be a practical guide. I don't want this to be just spiritual stuff. I want it to be something that can help people. Because again, not everyone's here to be a death doula, and like they might help with some of the things, but there is just a lot that goes into a death. And like there is just so much stuff that you might not think about. Like, did you consider that you have to cancel their gym membership? Or that you need to find the key to their like safety deposit box? Or like, do you have their like military paperwork? Like, there's just so much. Did you know that when you do organ donation, you don't get a paper? I didn't know that. Like, it's just an online registry, and apparently they will contact you. And like, I don't know how that works, but apparently hospitals and stuff know. So like, it depends on like how the death is happening. Are there going, like, if they're not in the registry, it goes to like the next of kin or whoever's the executor of the will and stuff, and like I don't know if it'd be power of attorney or not, but whatever, like stuff like that. It's like I don't know. So like, and also trying to think of like not just what our bills would be, what other people's bills could be, of like, listen, have you considered all of these things that you're going to need to find, all these documents you're going to need to find? That took so long, and the sad thing is I had a list already because I tried to write this before, and it's like, oh, like granted, I did add a lot more. I added more detail, more context, because like let's see what the previous word count was. I'm not gonna have this for every chapter, but this one was 324 words, and so I definitely made progress of bumping that up a bit. But like seriously, there is just so much that's going into this book and what I want it to be, and so it's gonna take forever. I don't know that 4 chapters is realistic because I already feel brain fog of like, oh my god, like trying to look up all of this stuff is like legal stuff, and I don't know how much I'm gonna have to do with that. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot because like the laws vary state to state, and of course if you live in other countries it's gonna be different. But like, I mean, seriously, I mean, pretty much everywhere in the world, you're gonna probably have to deal with, like, calling the landlord if they're renting, or calling the water company, and, like, the gas company, and the electricity company. Like, there's just so much. But that's why I want this book to be there for people who need it, so that you think about these things. So, anyways, I got 1 chapter done. Took forever. I'm gonna take a break and then continue. Again, the researching part of this is like truly just a rabbit hole. So trying to find out the materials used in a green burial casket and shroud. Do you think that crap is easy to find? No, they're just like, it's green. It's just green. And I'm like, I know, but what is it? I would like to know. What's the shroud made out of? Is it linen, cotton? I don't know. Just tell me what it is. For the natural materials is like, what kind of wood is it? Because I'm trying to find the magical meaning behind it. And yes, every witch writer has this book. And so I'm like, I've only found 2. Bamboo, willow. The rest is like cardboard, which not exactly probably gonna be used often. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But like, that's not necessary. Like, there's no witchcraft associated to cardboard, really. And for the shrouds, they're just like, it's a shroud. And I'm like, is it cheesecloth? Like, tell me what it is. What's the material, please? Nothing. So anyways, I'm on my quest, right? And so I'm like trying to look it up. And apparently we only have one green burial place here, technically. And I'm like, that's interesting. They have 2 locations, but one one company. So anyway, so I'm looking it up, right? And so then I come over here. Oh, the joys of living in Utah. So this is from BYU, which is one of our 2 big colleges here. Basically, if you're Mormon, you go there. If you're not Mormon, you go to the other one. And this article from 2018 they're talking about green cremation. And I'm like, what? What is this? How have I not heard of this? It's aquamation. They're just calling it green cremation, which is like, whatever. But they're like, the funeral director and founder of Nielsen Family Mortuary, Lance Nielsen said, a new body disposal technique, green cremation, provides new options for family and is much cheaper, especially if you decide to keep rather than bury the remains. But is cost-effective enough reason to justify washing grandma's remains down the drain? Like, do you need to be such a drama queen? Like, it's fine, dude. You're gonna let your grandma rot in the ground, or you're gonna let her go up in flames, or you know what? And like, my guy, when you get into the death industry, you realize that it's like not as like pretty perfect as you want it to be. Again, I had considered being a mortician at some point. And so it's like, yeah, you know, like maybe I'm a little biased because like that's what I want done. I want to go down the drain. I want to be liquefied. Please give me a hot bath at the end of my existence. So like, but it's just so funny where they're like, oh my God. But yet they were also so flippin' opposed for so long against cremations. All of like the Christian denominations were against it for a very long time. And now they're chill with that because we ran out of space. Like cultural change happened to be like, yeah, you know what, like maybe it's fine. And now that we have a green option, they're like, oh my God. Like it's just so funny to me when people freak out. Anyways, just wait until I find the article that's probably going to exist being like, oh my God, they want to leave grandma to rot in a box for human compost. Because that's definitely different than burial. But also, it's like, is it? Is it really? It's kind of the same vibes, dude. Yeah, it's going to be a magical journey because it's not legal here, I don't think. But I think it is in Colorado. So, like, next door, you know? But yeah, anyways, we're just washing grandma down the drain. That's what we're doing. I'll get there eventually. But, like, oh my God, sometimes people are such drama queens. Utah is a wild place. Again, I am looking for content stuff, research, right? I'm onto the aquamation stage now. And again, oh, it's so much fun. Okay, here's another article on aquamation when it got legalized, apparently in 2018, because people were in a fit over it. I wasn't even aware, but apparently there was a fit. For 2,000 years, cremation was widely considered a pagan practice, the desecration of human remains. Now it's even more common than burial in the U.S. and might be eclipsed by an even more controversial method of deposition, dissolving the body in scalding hot bath of chemicals and water. And from another website, they're like, bro, it's fine. It's water flow combined with a heated water and different levels of alkaline. They make it sound like we're just throwing you into like the vat from like Breaking Bad and you're just gonna melt through everything. Like it's not exactly the same thing. This is why people are just, oh my God, and they're trying to horrify everybody. Oh no, I read further down. I didn't read that far. But alkaline hydrolysis, which is aquamation, has an unsettling component that cremation lacks. The body tissues and organs dissolve into a syrupy liquid that is treated like wastewater. In effect, most of the body is liquefied and goes down the drain. Oh, they're trying to scare the bejesus out of people. Oh, for this section, I really, truly do feel like I need to call up, like, I think there's only one funeral home that does it in the entire state. But I feel like I need to awkwardly call them and be like, listen, I'm writing a book, and, like, I don't care. If you put me down the drain, whatever. That's fine. I need to know, though, from my book? I don't know if that, and like, I know that they're gonna have that question. I know people are going to ask that, but like, I need to know. But I also don't feel like just like stopping what I'm doing. Maybe I'll just make a note. I will make a note that in the revision process, I need to call them for that. That's how we don't get stuck down a rabbit hole while writing. I'm gonna make a note because I need to know. I don't care either way, but I need to know. And like, I'm sure it happens. But like, also, what do you think happens when like you have an amputated limb? And like, just because like, I don't know. What do you think happens? Like, it's fine. And I've heard that other people will take that goo and they will put that on like plants and stuff. So yeah, anyways, this is really fun to read because they're really irksed about the paganism attacking the religious things of Utah. So anyways, this truly feels like the longest writing project ever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just a lot. And it's also a really heavy topic. Like, I need to go like soak up some sun and like be alive for a minute. But like, yeah, it's a heavy topic to say the least. And I'm glad I decided to wait until summer to dive deep into this because like it's heavy. So like, you need to take some breaks and like go outside when you're not dealing with the mix of this and you can't get away, because I can get away. I can go sit in the sun and be like, ah, yes, the world, it's not terrible. Because again, death is a heavy topic. But yeah, I looked up all of the options, and apparently we're using all kinds of terms. So human composting is called terramation, because you have aquamation, terramation, and cremation. It's just wonderful. I love having options. So yeah, anyways, this chapter is 3,105. So it's a lot of words. And also, reading from these like news articles is cracking me up, because everyone's like in such a huff, and everyone's going to like the religious people to be like, oh my God, what do you guys think? And I'm like, why do we care? Why do we care? This has nothing to do with them. If they choose not to, that's their choice. Doesn't involve them. There are plenty, like, why do I care what the Catholic people representatives have to say if somebody wants to have their body composted and then have the soil given back to their family to use for whatever they decide? Like, does it matter? No, it is not their choice. But I'm glad it's getting legalized, because people deserve options. I didn't know that aquamation was a thing, and now it's legal here, and that's what I'm choosing to do. And like, same with cremation. That was a thing that people were like, oh my God, for so long. And like, oh my God, it's such a pagan thing. And I'm like, yep, it is. Could we just still allow it though? Because like, we're not Christian here. Remember the separation of church and state? Looking this stuff up, it's like getting real fuzzy, to say the least. And also, people are just like really afraid to talk about death. Like, everyone's just like super squeamish. Like, that's one of the reasons in one of the news articles that I read that was talking about how like aquamation, people are like really not thrilled with it. And then also they're like so squeamish about what happens with the fluid afterwards that you can't even have the discussion of like using it as fertilizer for a lot of places yet, because people are still like, oh my God, you turned grandma to soup. Like, what's the option here? Do we either put her down the drain when the bath is done, or we get a container and we use it? Even if they had like a gardens or something, or if it was like attached to like a cemetery and they were like, listen, grandma fertilizes the trees and grass here. You know, full circle thing. Like, people would be up in arms either way. Let people have the option. But I don't know. I put a note to research that further and call and find out. But yeah, like this is a heavy topic of a book. And I'm just like, this is, whew, it's a lot too. This is 2 chapters today, and it's almost like, it's past 11 o'clock. These are taking forever, and I already have stuff written, is the thing. Oh, the deadline is getting for reals though. Can I actually get this written in time? You know? Because like, I don't know how much more researchy stuff I'm going to have to do, because a lot of this eventually will become just rituals and stuff. and like magical things, but I feel like it's still gonna be a lot of research. I don't know. The prepping for death is like the complicated part, and I'm like, I don't know. And I like, human composting is not legal here, so I feel weird calling another state and being like, listen, I have creepy questions. Can you answer, please? Thank you. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you can put on like the terramation containers. Again, human composting. Can you put flowers? I don't know. Do you get to choose what goes in the box? Probably not. It's probably a science. Like, stuff like that. Don't know. But at least getting the option, a little bit of detail here. So, anyways, that was a lot of words today already. We'll see how much more I can get done. I did just look up my word count, though. And out of my 5 chapters that I have for this book, I'm already at 10,000 words. I think this is also going to be a big book because there's a lot. Because, like, I wanted to include, like, the witchcraft side of things. So, like, for the last chapter I did, the burial, cremation, and more. Like, obviously, terramation is going to be associated with earth. And, like, if you donate your body to science, what's that connected to? And, like, cremation, fire, you know? So, like, having stuff. And also, like, if you do a green burial, here are, like, the magical associations that you could use for, like, the casket that you would get to use, because you don't get to use all of the options. They have very limited supplies of what you can choose from. But, like, stuff like that. Like, there's just, I'm trying to put witchery on top of practicality. And hopefully this will help my witches alongside anyone else who's trying to navigate death. So, anyways, over 10,000 words. Good lordies. This is a big project. Y'all, this book is gonna take forever. So I got part 1 done today. I did have a 4th chapter that I was thinking about doing. It was in my initial outline. And this is where it gets weird. The last book, I ended up adding a bunch of chapters. This one, I'm deleting some that I had planned because it just doesn't flow right. I don't really think that I need to be discussing funeral planning before the person has died. I feel like I'm going to save that for the after. And because it's still going to be in the book. It's just not in the section I had initially planned, and I'm going to move it to the next one. So we've got this one done. So this chapter is chapter 6. This is Vigils, Rituals, and Saying Goodbye. So this was also a long chapter. This was, let's go back to that page, 3451 words. And so, yeah, we're at like, what, 13,000 words or something like that? I haven't added it, but the last section I checked in at was 10,000. So simple math, it's around 13. But yeah, so part 1 is done. We have the introduction and part 1 completely done. And I have planned 9 parts. So we shall see how this goes. Because, to get this done in the month is like, I'm stressing. But, I mean, I'm doing okay. I need to figure out how many chapters that's gonna be. But, like, it's the 2nd of May as of recording this. And I have 6 chapters done. So, like, it will get there. But, like, dang. Also, I need to, like, go listen to some upbeat music and just, like, go back to life. Because this book is heavy. This chapter sucked. Like, it's a necessary chapter. But, like, my God, the goodbye part sucks. Like, this whole part ends with the person dying. That is, like, the absolute, like, that and, like, the final time you see that person, even if it's just their body, is still, like, the worst. So, like, it's a rough chapter. I need to go experience life for a minute, because, like, this book is, like, it weighs heavy, but also I want to write it so bad. Like, I want this to be available to people. I really hope it's going to help those that it needs to. I think it will. I'm really trying to do my absolute best with this one. So, anyways, that is all the writing I can do for today. I can do math. I can't do math. Oh, look at me go. It's 16,000 words, not 13. I just decided for funsies to see. This is why I need spreadsheets to tell me math. There's a reason I'm a writer, not a mathematician. But yeah, we're at 16,000 words so far.